Hi, my name is Tyler Benson and welcome to Warmup Inbox. In this video, I will be going over what inbox warming is, how it helps with improving deliverability for your outreach efforts, and what our service does to automate this process so you can focus on your marketing and outreach efforts instead of worrying about the more annoying aspects of getting a sender domain, a mail server, or an email address prepared for outreach. Without further ado, let's get started. So what exactly is inbox warming and how does it even work? In short, the process of inbox warming can be defined as the act of building up positive sender history under an associated sender domain or a mail server in order to provide a record of consistent positive email engagement for email and internet providers to reference in order to determine how trustworthy your outgoing emails are. Positive sender history is accumulated by having an email address you plan on utilizing for outreach perform email sending activity that gets opened, replied to, and saved from the spam folder if it happens to land there. All this activity is seen by email providers as positive engagement and helps to differentiate your email activity from that of a spammer, since this demonstrates that these emails were well received by the recipient. These providers want to see email activity that differentiates your activity from that of an email spammer. And by sending out emails on a consistent basis that gets opened, replied to, and removed from the spam folder, this helps to determine to providers that this is an active, in-use email address that is not being utilized for nefarious or spam purposes. Over time, as you build up this positive engagement, providers will assign you a higher reputation score within their network. But what even is sender reputation? In short, sender reputation is an internal value assigned to an email address, a sender domain, and a mail server by email and internet providers that is a reflection of how well your past emails have been received by recipients. Your actual sender reputation score with a specific provider is typically not available to users, as this is an internal system used to keep track of email addresses that interact with their servers. All providers maintain their own sender reputation scores, so your reputation with Google wouldn't necessarily be the same as it would be with Microsoft. If a majority of your emails in the past have been opened and engaged with in a positive manner, this would result in providers looking at your email activity in a more positive light and translates over to higher deliverability rates. On the opposite side of the spectrum, if you are sending out large amounts of emails that are flagged as spam or fail to be delivered, this will result in your reputation score going down, resulting in your emails landing in spam at much higher rates than otherwise. Since sender reputation plays a big part in where your emails are placed after an email is delivered, you ideally want this score to be as high as possible, and you can increase this score through the process of inbox warming over time. Now that we know how inbox warming works and why it helps to improve deliverability, how does Warmup Inbox help with this process? In short, we handle every aspect of the warm-up process so that you don't need to perform these actions manually. Our platform will automatically send out emails on a set schedule to our network of verified email addresses. These emails are then automatically opened and engaged with, while a set percentage of them will be replied back to by the recipient. If any of these emails land in the spam folder of the recipient, we will pull them out and engage with them and reply back to indicate to the recipient's provider that this was misidentified as spam. These positive interactions are then referenced by providers when determining your sender reputation, and in turn this helps to increase the likelihood that your emails will land in the primary inbox of the recipient. The email addresses we engage with during the warm-up process are all fully verified addresses that provide the highest likelihood of accepting mail and are under paid workspace accounts from a wide variety of providers and custom mail solutions. So the sender history you are building up will cover the vast majority of the email and internet providers you would typically interact with during normal outreach efforts. Our warming network also acts as a simulated outreach environment to a certain extent, where as you warm within our network, you can get an idea on how well your email address is performing in a safe environment before you attempt any live outreach. Later in this video, I will cover all the metrics we track for a connected inbox. When you connect an inbox to our platform, you will have the option to control and define your own setting schedule based upon your needs for the process. You can define various aspects of your sending frequency, such as your starting baseline value, your increased per day value, your max send per day rate, and finally the percentage of incoming emails you want your account to reply back to per day, as defined by your reply rate percentage value. These values can be changed at any time under an inbox connected to the platform, so feel free to mess around with your schedule as you see fit. Once an inbox has been running on the platform for a while, you'll be able to keep track of how well your inbox is performing within our network via a variety of helpful tracking metrics as seen in this screenshot. Here you can see how many emails have been sent out per day based upon your sending schedule. Any emails marked by green indicates that it has successfully landed in the primary inbox of a recipient within the network, while any emails that land in either the spam folder or an organizational tab, such as promotions with Google or the other tab with Microsoft, will be marked in red, letting you know of its placement. At the top of the page, by clicking on the calendar icon as seen by this arrow, you can adjust your schedule by date if you wish to have a more narrow or expanded view of your historic metrics. We keep track of all past delivery information so you can get a clear view of how well your inbox has been performing since connecting it to the platform. Below, marked by the red box, you will also be able to get a detailed summary to go alongside your visualized metrics. Going from left to right, you can find your reputation score within our network as summarized by a percentage value. We'll go into more detail on this later regarding how the score is defined, but in general, this is a reflection of your overall performance within the network alongside the health of your sender domain's DNS. Next, you can find the amount of blacklists your sender domain may or may not be on. Every inbox connected to the platform, we will perform a routine blacklist check on so that you can be aware right away if any listings occur. We'll run your domain through all the primary blacklists that you could potentially be listed on for email activity. Alongside your most recent blacklist check, you can find the total amount of emails your connected inbox has sent out within your current calendar view, as well as view how many emails this inbox has received in total during the same time frame. Next, you can see how many of the total emails your inbox has sent out that have landed within the primary inbox of the recipient, and how many of those emails landed in the tabs folder with the provider, as well as how many of those emails landed in the spam folder of a recipient and then were saved. If you click on the reputation button next to the overview of your inbox, it'll bring you to a page similar to what is seen here. Your reputation score within our network is determined by a few determining factors that I will cover shortly. This view will give you a good idea on where you stand in terms of your deliverability and can give you an idea on if it's a good idea to start on your live outreach yet or not. Scrolling down on this page will display all the criteria that we are looking for when determining your current sender reputation within the network. Going from top to bottom, the first thing we are looking at is how well your inbox has been performing within the past 15 days. If there are any issues that are occurring with your deliverability rates, it'll be reflected here by the value percentage. Next, we are routinely checking to make sure that your DMARC and your SPF records under your associated domain are still being picked up correctly. We factor this in when determining your sender reputation because if these records are either not present or broken, it'll have an effect on your overall outreach performance. We then look to determine if your IP address is listed under any blacklist. This is an important check since being on any blacklist can potentially have a negative impact on your deliverability, so any type of listing on a blacklist will affect your reputation score. We also factor in age of your domain for your reputation score. The reason we do this is due to the fact that an older domain tends to perform better than a younger one. This is not something that you can directly control unless you have a time machine, but it's an important thing to consider when determining your current reputation. And lastly, we look at your overall warming history and factor this into your current reputation score. The ideal amount of time to warm up an inbox before performing live outreach is 45 to 90 days. So after having an inbox connected for a while, you can expect to see improvements with your deliverability as well as your sender reputation. And that about wraps it up. When you connect an inbox to our platform, we'll automatically handle the entire warm-up process so that you can focus on planning your outreach and putting your focus on what matters to ensure your own success. If you have any questions about the service or if we can help in any way to improve your experience, please feel free to write into our support at any time and we'd be happy to help. Thank you and have a wonderful day.